This message is issued by the Emergency Coordination Center. Please listen closely and follow the instructions. This is not a drill. If your dog begins exhibiting unusual vocal behaviors, particularly sounds resembling human laughter, secure your home immediately and do not attempt to interact with the animal. Over the past 11 days, we have received 47 reports from across 3 counties describing identical behavioral anomalies in domestic canines. The pattern began on June 8th with scattered calls to our dispatch centers. What initially appeared to be isolated incidents of pet distress has escalated into a coordinated response involving animal control, local law enforcement, and emergency medical services. The first documented case occurred in Millbrook at approximately 2:15 a.m. A family of 4 contacted emergency services after their golden retriever began producing sounds that witnesses described as distinctly human in nature. The animal exhibited no other signs of distress or illness. Within 6 hours, similar reports emerged from Oakfield and Cedar Ridge. By June 10th, we had logged reports from 14 different households across a 40-mile radius. Our investigation teams have identified a clear progression of behaviors that appear consistent across all reported cases. The phenomenon shows no preference for breed, age, or size of animal. Both indoor and outdoor dogs have been affected. What connects these incidents is not the animals themselves, but the specific vocal patterns they produce and the escalating nature of their behavior over time. A couple on Granger Hill reported the first incident we were able to document in detail. Sarah Martinez was preparing for bed when she heard what she initially thought was her neighbor's television. The sound was coming from her backyard where her border collie, Rex, was housed for the night. When she looked through the kitchen window, she saw Rex sitting perfectly still in the center of the yard, head tilted upward toward the sky. The laughter was coming from him. "It wasn't like any sound I'd ever heard from a dog," Sarah told our response team. "It started low, almost like whimpering, but then it changed. It sounded like a child giggling, but wrong somehow. Too deep, too knowing." Her husband, Michael, attempted to approach Rex, but the animal continued the vocal behavior without acknowledging his presence. The laughter continued for approximately 20 minutes before stopping abruptly. Rex then behaved normally for the remainder of the night. The following evening, a similar incident occurred on Maple Street. Jennifer Walsh was watching television with her family when their beagle, Charlie, began the same vocalization pattern from his bed in the living room. Unlike the Granger Hill incident, Charlie was looking directly at the family while producing the sounds. Jennifer's 8-year-old daughter became hysterical, claiming that Charlie was laughing at something behind us. When the family turned to look, nothing was visible. The laughter continued for 37 minutes. The worst part wasn't the sound itself, Jennifer later reported. It was how Charlie was looking at us, like he knew something we didn't, like he was in on some joke we couldn't understand. The family spent the night at Jennifer's mother's house. When they returned the next morning, Charlie appeared normal but refused to eat or drink for 2 days. More disturbing was the incident reported by the Henderson family in Riverside. Their German Shepherd, Duke, began the laughter pattern at 3:20 a.m., waking the entire household. Unlike previous cases, Duke's laughter was accompanied by what witnesses described as responsive behavior. The family reported hearing answering laughter that seemed to come from outside their home, though no source was ever identified. Duke would laugh, then stop and tilt his head like he was listening, reported James Henderson. Then we'd hear it from outside. Different pitch, but the same rhythm. They were having a conversation. The Henderson family contacted police, who arrived to find Duke still engaged in the behavior. Officer Patricia Reeves documented sounds she described as 2 distinct vocal patterns, one clearly from the dog, one unidentified. The external sounds ceased when police arrived, but Duke continued laughing for another hour. Later that night, more calls came in from the Riverside area. 3 additional families reported their dogs engaging in the same behavior simultaneously between 3 and 4 a.m. One caller, Maria Santos, reported that her dog appeared to be responding to signals from other animals in the neighborhood. The dogs would laugh in sequence, creating what witnesses described as a chain reaction of vocalizations moving from house to house. We have identified 4 distinct stages in the behavioral progression. Understanding these stages is critical for your safety and the safety of your family. Stage 1 begins with restlessness in your pet approximately 6 to 8 hours before the vocal behaviors manifest. Your dog may pace, refuse food, or fixate on specific areas of your home, particularly windows and doors. They may spend extended periods staring at empty spaces or corners. Some owners report their pets appearing to track invisible movement with their eyes. This stage typically lasts between 4 and 12 hours. Stage 2 is the onset of the laughter itself. The sounds begin quietly, often mistaken for normal dog vocalizations or electronic interference. The laughter gradually increases in volume and clarity until it becomes unmistakably human-like. During this stage, your dog will remain conscious and aware, but will not respond to commands or attempts at interaction. This stage can last anywhere from 20 minutes to several hours. Stage 3 involves what we term responsive behavior. Your dog will appear to be listening to or communicating with an unseen presence. They may pause their laughter, tilt their head, then resume with different intensity or rhythm. Witnesses report feeling as though their pet is responding to instructions or participating in a conversation they cannot hear. This is when the external responding sounds typically begin. Stage 4 is the most concerning. Your dog will move to a specific location in your home, usually near an exterior door or window, and maintain the laughter while fixating on that exit point. They may scratch at doors or windows while continuing the vocalization. Under no circumstances should you allow your pet outside during this stage. Witnesses who have done so report their animals vanishing immediately upon crossing the threshold. If your dog begins exhibiting these behaviors, follow these instructions carefully. First, secure all exterior doors and windows immediately. Do not attempt to comfort or restrain your pet. The animals do not appear to be in distress, and intervention may escalate the situation. Document the time and duration of the episode, but do not attempt to record the sounds electronically. Multiple witnesses report that recording devices malfunction during these events. Keep other family members, particularly children, in a separate room from the affected animal. Children appear to be more susceptible to the psychological effects of the laughter, and several have required medical attention for anxiety responses. Do not attempt to force feed or medicate your pet during an episode. The animals will return to normal behavior patterns once the episode concludes. Most importantly, do not allow your pet outside until at least 24 hours after the episode ends. The 3 families who permitted their dogs outside during Stage 4 reported their pets walking directly into wooded areas or fields and disappearing. Search efforts have been unsuccessful. These animals have not been recovered. The phenomenon appears to be spreading. What began in rural areas has now reached suburban neighborhoods. Our dispatch centers are receiving reports from locations previously unaffected. We have documented cases as far as 60 miles from the original incident zone. The episodes are also increasing in frequency and duration. Emergency veterinary services report no physical abnormalities in affected animals. Blood work, neurological examinations, and behavioral assessments conducted after episodes show normal results. Dr. Catherine Webb from the Regional Animal Medical Center states that the animals appear to be physically healthy, but responding to external stimuli we cannot identify or measure. Multiple attempts to identify the source of the responding laughter have been unsuccessful. Sound engineers brought in to analyze audio from affected areas report equipment malfunctions and inconclusive results. Thermal imaging shows no heat signatures corresponding to the external sounds. Motion sensors trigger without visible cause during episodes. One detail has emerged that concerns our response teams. The Henderson family, whose German Shepherd was involved in one of the earliest documented cases, reported an additional incident 3 days after Duke's initial episode. They were awakened by familiar laughter coming from their backyard. When they investigated, Duke was inside the house, sleeping normally. The laughter continued for 20 minutes with no identifiable source. It was Duke's laugh, Jennifer Henderson reported. The exact same sound, the exact same rhythm. But Duke was right there next to us, not making any noise at all. Similar reports have come from 4 other locations where dogs experienced the original episodes. We want to emphasize that affected animals do not appear to be suffering. They resume normal behavior patterns after episodes conclude and show no lasting physical effects. However, the psychological impact on families has been significant. Several households have relocated temporarily. Others report ongoing anxiety about future episodes. The laughing behavior appears to be contagious among animals in close proximity. If one dog in your neighborhood begins an episode, monitor your own pets closely. The chain reaction effect documented in Riverside has been observed in 2 other locations. Dogs up to half a mile apart have synchronized their vocalizations. Do not attempt to investigate the source of external responding sounds. 3 residents who left their homes during episodes to locate the source have reported disorientation and memory gaps. One individual was found 6 hours later in a wooded area 12 miles from her home with no recollection of how she arrived there. We are coordinating with state and federal agencies to determine the cause of these incidents. Additional resources are being deployed to affected areas. Veterinary teams are standing by to assist with animal welfare concerns. However, we cannot emphasize strongly enough the importance of following the safety protocols we have outlined. If your dog exhibits these behaviors, remain calm and secure your home. Do not go outside. Do not allow your pet outside. Contact emergency services to report the incident. But understand that our response may be delayed due to the volume of calls we are receiving. This broadcast will repeat every 2 hours on this frequency. If you lose radio contact during an episode, this is normal. Service typically resumes when the episode concludes. Stay indoors until normal communications are restored. Remember, the animals do not appear to be in distress. They are responding to something we do not yet understand. Your safety depends on not joining that response. When the laughter stops, when the house goes quiet, when your dog returns to sleep as if nothing happened, that silence may be the most dangerous sound of all.